right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
A local track star invited to qualify for the Paris Olympics.
I'm ecstatic. It hasn't even sunk in, I'm not gonna lie.
Tonight, the community effort to get the coach she's known for years the chance to see her compete.
Today we had a slight break from the 90s, but they're back tomorrow. Plus, I'll time out when we may see a pop-up storm.
Voices raised at a library board meeting in St. Charles County. The battle to keep 3 branches open.
The St. Charles City County Library Board meeting wrapped up just moments ago. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. Dozens of people protested the proposal to close 3 library branches. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barczewski is live in St. Peters. Laura.
Mike and Kelly, they actually passed a resolution tonight that solidifies tabling that proposal to close those 3 branches indefinitely. The resolution also put listening sessions on the table that the public will be able to come to learn more about the financial status of the St. Charles City County Library and weigh in on other plans to help with financial issues. It also directs the administration to work with the library board to come up with those new proposals to address the financial issues they say they're facing. But at the end of all this, they could still close those branches in the future. The library CEO did talk more about their financial situation tonight and pointed to tax abatements that essentially took away nearly $600,000 in tax money from the libraries. While some people say they feel better about the situation because of the resolution, they're still questioning the board and the administration.
If you go back and you look at the last 4 or 5 years' budgets that are available on the library's website, the only place you'll find a deficit is in the CEO's budget. You know, by the end of the year, we've had multi-million-dollar surpluses in 3 of those last 5 years, and the reality seems to be painting a different picture than what administration has been telling the public.
We would much rather have our library branches open, branches that we can walk to, that kids can come for classes, adults can come for classes, they can come for story hour, they can come to get out of the heat without spending money, rather than have an ebook right when we want it. Again, we're readers, we're used to waiting.
Now, the library board is still working on how those listening sessions are going to work, but they expect they could start as early as July. Reporting live in St. Peters, Laura Barczewski, 5 on Your Side.
Tonight we're learning more about a car crash that killed a suspect pursued by St. Louis police. The wreck happened this afternoon near Page and Goodfellow. As 5 on Your Side's Robert Townsend reports, several others, including a man and young boy, were injured.
1 minute, many neighbors were enjoying the day and sitting outside their homes near Page and Goodfellow in North St. Louis. But around 12:30 Tuesday afternoon, they say screeching tires and blaring police sirens ruined the peace.
Real crazy. It was a shock.
This woman asked us to not show her face.
It happened so fast, like a blink of an eye.
Police say a man and a teenage boy sped down Page Boulevard in this white car. Officers with the department's mobile reserve unit were in marked vehicles hot on the suspect's trail.
They're actually told by the Real-Time Crime Center that there is a vehicle driving very erratically that is stolen in the Wells Goodfellow neighborhood.
Police say the driver in the stolen car just wouldn't stop.
When it saw the spike strips, it immediately stopped, backed up, almost striking the officers.
Investigators tell us the suspects crashed into a black Lexus. The driver in the stolen car was killed. Witnesses say his teenage passenger tried to run off after the crash.
The young man who survived the accident jumped out. They pulled guns out on him.
Police say the suspects in the stolen car ran the red light here, and that's when they slammed into the innocent victims. Neighbors say officers ran to help the injured child and man.
Because when they got him out the car, they laid him on the ground. So the man that was in the car, they was pulling him out the car, and he started limping.
Both are expected to survive.
Very grateful, because it could have been my child. We drive up and down here every day.
Robert Townsend, 5 on Your Side.
And about a half hour after that deadly crash, just 3 miles away, a North St. Louis police officer shot and killed an armed minor. That incident started around 1 o'clock in the Baden neighborhood when officers came across a stolen car they were tracking. Without knowing police were following them, 2 juvenile suspects stopped to pick up a third person. That is when officers deployed stop strips. When their tires flattened near Whittier and St. Louis Avenue, 2 armed suspects jumped out of the car and took off running. One of them turned and pointed his gun at officers, according to police. police who shot him. The two others are both in custody. In a news conference, 5 on your side asked why officers use stop sticks before turning on the lights in their unmarked cars.
Anti-Crime Task Force is an unmarked unit who does covert surveillance in an attempt to spike it prior to them knowing the police are there in an attempt to slow them down. Spiking a car before you activate your lights and siren actually slows down the ability from them to become involved in a high-speed fleeing and endangering other individuals who are obeying traffic laws. So we try to spike them in an attempt to disable the vehicle so that it cannot drive at high speeds.
The officer involved with the shooting is 40 years old and has 16 years on the force. He was wearing a body camera, which will be part of the ongoing investigation.
A man convicted of killing a pregnant St. Louis teacher will spend the rest of his life in prison. Philip Cutler received 2 consecutive life terms today. The judge who sentenced him called the crime, quote, the most heinous he had seen in his career. Cutler's childhood friend, Cornelius Green, hired him to kill Jocelyn Peters in 2016. Peters was pregnant with Green's baby. Green was the principal at Carlane Middle School. He pleaded guilty in February and will be sentenced next week.
Tonight, St. Louis police are searching for a group who is randomly shooting airsoft guns at people. They're believed to be kids or teenagers. At least one person was hurt during an attack outside Hammerstones in Soulard overnight. Even a 5 on your side photojournalist was targeted early this morning downtown. Police say they've received at least 5 reports this month.
Even if these are juveniles, we'll certainly look into the possibility of holding parents accountable. You know, at 4 o'clock in the morning, why are your kids out driving around in a car indiscriminately shooting at people with an airsoft gun?
Investigators have not identified any suspects, but they are looking through surveillance footage to get more answers. If you have any information, you're encouraged to call Crime Stoppers. It's an anonymous tip line, 866-371-TIPS.
Right now, a South St. Louis man is recovering after an explosion at an apartment. Police say this happened about 4 hours ago on Germania. They say the man lost part of his arm. Bomb and arson investigators are still looking into what caused the explosion. Well, the baseball world is mourning the loss of one of the best players of all time. Willie Mays passed away today at the age of 93 in his home. He left an indelible mark on the game.
Frank Cusimano is here with more on the life of the Hall of Famer, Willie Mays.
He was considered baseball's greatest living player. In fact, many will go as far to say that Willie Mays was the best player to ever stride across a field. There was nothing he could not do, and his style was electric. He went after balls with sprinter speed with the ball cap flying off his head. This was one of the most famous plays in baseball history, Mays' amazing catch in the 1954 World Series off Vic Wertz. The Say Hey Kid was the definition of a 5-tool player. He hit for power, 660 homers, which is 6th all time. He hit for average. He won a batting title. He could field and throw, 12 Gold Gloves, and he could run, 339 stolen bases. The man played in 24 All-Star games and won 2 Most Valuable Player awards. Stan Musial, who also played in 24 All-Star games, loved Willie Mays. They did an event for the 3,000 Hit Club together once and then had to fly out for the naming of the All-Century team. Willie was going to fly coach. Stan said, no, you're flying on my plane, Willie.
Tonight, a local track athlete has her eyes set on the Paris Olympics. The 19-year-old just learned she can travel next week to qualify for the games.
She plans to show her skills as a pole vaulter, and tonight the college student is on a mission to help her middle school coach watch her compete in person. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon just caught up with the talented athlete.
And I tell you what, guys, the word talented might be an understatement. You're about to meet a young lady who's mastered numerous sports, and she has humility and spirit that will instantly make you a fan. She tells me she can't take all the credit.
You know, you have to be quick, you have to be flexible.
Just look at her go. That's 19-year-old Mason Minor Sagan from St. Louis County, finishing with a smile.
I never thought this would happen, so I'm just going to go out there and do my best and have fun and see what I can do.
The University of Kansas pole vaulter just found out she's invited to travel to Oregon next week to qualify for the Paris Games. One of the first people she reached out to, her middle school coach, Vince Bingham. She met him at summer camp.
It was the greatest moment of my life on Father's Day. I don't have no kids. We probably got 200 kids because I coach them. But to get that call on Father's Day, I just sleep the whole night.
Like, he's a part of my family. He's been there for everything for me.
Now Manor Sagan is on a mission as her former coach undergoes dialysis treatment and overcomes mobility challenges. Supporters set up this online fundraiser to help get him to Oregon to see Mason in action. Donors quickly meeting the $4,000 goal, but they're still allowing people to contribute.
I think he's going to get there. You know, when Vince really wants something, he makes it happen. Like, he's made a lot of things happen for me. So I'm hoping that we can get him out there. I'm so honored, you know, and I just want to go out there and represent him. And I want him to be there in the crowd cheering me on.
Because when someone helps you realize a dream.
She says, it wasn't for you. And then I said, no, you did it.
And there's something about helping that hero see it through.
This has been my dream my whole life.
After that coach discovered and helped shape Mason's skills, she would later earn the title of NCAA Division I All-American as a freshman. We'll be watching and wishing her well next week.
People heading to Paris for the Olympics may want to take in a little culture.
You can feel the emotion.
The painter still inspiring artists nearly 100 years after his death. A border war heating up in Kansas City. The big move by Kansas lawmakers to lure the Chiefs and possibly the Royals across state lines.
80s and humid today. The 90-plus degree weather is back tomorrow, and it gets even hotter this weekend.